Greetings and welcome to I Am Powered by Love TV. I'm Demi and welcome to your Soul Scopes. This reading is going to be for Aries Decan 1, which is your guys' birthday is from March 21st through the 30th. And this reading is from October 15th, 16th, because we're probably going to still drop it early. The first part of the month was from, the 1st to the 15th. So this is going to be really from the 16th to the 30th. But you'll probably be seeing it prior to. So again, this is for Aries Decan 1. And I want to welcome back all the beautiful humans who've tuned in for the Soul Scopes. Welcome back. Much love and light. Thank you for tuning back in. Welcome, welcome. And to all the beautiful new humans tuning in for the very first time, this is an Akashic Channel record reading. Those should always be channeled. That's how you know if the person is really channeling from the Akash. And it's, your soul books and your horoscope. And so your soul comes forward along with guides, teachers, loved ones that are crossed over, any ancestors that may still be moving along your ancestral line's journey, and ascended masters, as well as sexual and etheric, higher vibrational beings from far and wide. So all responsible for your soul's journey. So I'm going to jump right in here because I'm hearing that you'd like nothing more than to experience the bliss of love. And you, for some reason, feel like this has eluded you. It's never quite what you thought it would be. You get in there and it's just all gushy and mushy, and somehow it gets empty, or it doesn't feel as connected as when it did, when it was electrifying and brand new and exciting, and there was a lot of doing things. And so for those that are in relationships, your current relationship and where it's at, you're trying to grow that emotional intelligence, and you're learning how to better become more vulnerable and engaging in an emotional fluidity. And there's still some parts of you that it doesn't feel comfortable to be that vulnerable. There's a blockage there that you are having to grow through and mature, no matter what your age range is, into an emotional intelligence. Meaning, when that's said in the psychological terms, spiritually and enlightened and consciously, what it means is having mastered your emotions, having old emotions completely eradicated from your sense of being, and understanding that emotions really aren't real. States of being are real. You can be at peace. You can't go find peace, and you certainly can't buy peace. So these aren't predicated by moods and events. And so we look for emotions in things that make us happy instead of being happy. We look for someone to love us to become worthy of love. And when they're not there, we're not sure who we are without their presence. And so being love and unconditional love is different than, do you love me? Do you like me? Do you approve of me? So all these other emotions are so false. And we run this gambit. And so for you, flowing through that river of emotions is uncomfortable. And so you like the doing, the busyness, and the intricate details, and you've been doing so much better. I'm trying to connect with, and that authentic center is where you are headed. That's where the river just kind of opens up into the ocean, and then you start free flowing. And so that's where you're headed, is that expansion of self. It's uncomfortable because you're starting to really get to know who you are and not what you do. And so the relationship here in question is the one that you're either trying to repair or the one that you're trying to grow. So what's needed here is how to become mature in choosing how to resonate in the state that you are trying to create. So we're going to go to the Psychic Love Tarot here. And if you noticed the difference between, maybe you never realized it before until you just heard it in this video, that you were trying to create an emotion or relive an emotion from something else that you've experienced instead of being. And this is not, and I'll be the first to say, without instruction and guidance. We have a saying here, whatever pops out comes to show out. And we got a couple of cards on the floor. I just looked down at them and grabbed those in a second, because maybe you weren't aware that that's how you were going about your emotional life, is through the things that you've obtained, or, you know, experiences that you created, vacations, buying a house, buying a car, you know, new Michael Kors, whatever purse, whatever fragrance. Ooh, I'm the shit, you know. Ooh, I love myself even more. Look what I did. Oh, I went, you know, did some self-care, you know, get my hair did, my nails did, everything done, you know. And that comes from within, right? And so you may not have ever heard it that way before. So it may be hard for you to see that, or even recognize that peace of mind is something that you cannot buy, and that not only can you have it, you are it, and that you can become it, live in it, reside in it, even when life throws you curveball, even when people let you down, even when people piss you the F off. You can remain in peace. You don't have to move into any set. Oh, let me just popping all kinds of out here. Well, these are all the cards that fell out. We're gonna look at these and see what order here. Wow. Let's start with the first two that fell out. These two, just exactly what we're talking about. You are not only having a hard time seeing this explanation that they just gave you about how you use things and events and experiences to fuel your emotions, and you're relying on past memory, belief systems of those events and emotions to be the emotion, and that you have to now begin to flow. And you see how that behind him, he's not only in water, but there is a compass behind him. You control where the direction of your emotions go. And in the looking for the relationship, healing is really about healing yourself. And they also talked about you putting these things together, using your will. Mind over matter is not, you can't force this. You can't force an experience of love through ego-based actions. And so in the buying of the cars and buying of the homes and celebrating your life, you're only giving yourself a temporal feeling. And it's so temporary now, it doesn't even sustain. So now you're doing more of this. So using the will isn't enough. and your will is exhausted. So you may be feeling fatigued, tired. You may have back pain, headaches, and frustration, which you will be receiving more of these. They are saying more frustration the more you try to push, uh, force. They're saying be aware, be careful not to use underhanded tactics. They're also cautioning you on erratic and harsh and rash behaviors. Moving forward through this time period of change, because you are used to using your will along with your ego to get things done and to bend the will of others. So the underhanded manipulations and that passive aggressive behavior is coming to an end. They have been speaking of nothing but self-mastery of your heart this entire time. Again, that moving the energy, keeping that flow is moving it. It has to be genuine. It has to be from a heart-centered space. You have to let go of how materialistic things make you feel and what you think it presents, because inside you are definitely empty. And moving your heart. See how, this is a binding ceremony. It's Celtic. I'm an officiant and celebrant, and so this is where the ring of binding comes from, because they didn't use rings. They used a ring of ribbon and bound the hands together. You have to move, love, and you have to be able to commit to opening your heart first to yourself in order to allow someone else in it. It's when you do, you will not only experience the joy and stability of a fluid life, that fluidity, that constant flow of abundance, but you'll be able to bring the relationship back together through the unity of marrying your heart to your actions, your heart to your third eye, your heart to your crown, your heart to your root. This is why the chakra system moves energetically up and down. It goes up in a wave and comes down in the opposite way in that same spiral. So you get the movement going up and down. It has to hit all chakras. It has to hit every energy center, and you have to be open to it. So the avoidance of it, this refusing to see, you will be made to see just exactly how you are creating. Because even when I was telling you how you were doing it, they were saying they can't see, they don't want to see, and then this card fell on the floor. So this is the obstacle that you are overcoming and the challenges ahead. And you're going to be seeing these. They have already started. You've been seeing them. You've been avoiding them. You've acknowledged them on some level because you want a different version, but you don't want to have to part with. You think you have to let go of things in abundance. Doesn't work that way. You don't have to let go of having a great life. It's just how you go about getting it. And so you're tired now and you're exhausted. And it's not even coming together the way you thought it would. You're not fulfilled anymore. The satisfaction isn't there because there's no true, genuine peace, love, happiness, harmony. There's no bliss. You don't even barely have gratitude. It's just always working towards the next goal, working through the next acquire, working through the next, big thing to, show to the world, look, I've achieved this. And then when you get to it, okay, and now even the likes and the comments aren't even coming in anymore, like that would even give you that extra boost of dopamine and serotonin and those things that you need to feel happiness. You're just like, okay, that wasn't enough. I got to go harder. I got to go bigger. So, and one of the things that is missing now is the connectivity in the relationship. Is you want this union to work, and so that love that you want to experience has to come through you and the letting go. So master the emotional intelligence and create it. And I want to thank you for tuning in. I'm Demi, and if this resonates with you on any level, please visit I Empowered by Love. I'm going to tell you there is a beautiful workshop that is designed just for this exact type of thing here, which is, revive your relationships with self-love. It teaches you the language of finding yourself, your identity, releasing the blockages of self-sabotage and the self-limitations that keep us from living, not even in the fullness of life, but actually accessing the 7 principles of the universal law, and what are those, and how to develop a communication of self-respect through reflection and building a romance with yourself. So tune into that at I Am Powered by Love. You'll just go to the workshop link, see all about how our workshops work, and then look for reviving your relationship with self-love. And we'll make sure to drop a link directly to the workshop so you can look for it. It is a level 2 workshop. I wouldn't be mentioning it, but this is something that if you don't find yourself dealing with this over the next month and a half, 2 months, you're going to find 2021 even more empty. And empty equals pain. Empty means that we start justifying and excusing the way our life is turning out, and things like, well, I didn't need them anyway. It wasn't working out. I'm better off. Those are justifiers. Those are excuses. And you want this. You want a fullness of passion and love in your life. You want to feel engaged and connected. And that lack of connectivity, it's almost like you're diminishing it in response to it. And you're blaming everyone else for your lack of this connection. And so this leads to more anger, frustration, also sadness and depression. And you've had such a wonderful year moving through and shifting through and listening clearly to how to get to the success, but you haven't listened to your heart and how to heal all of the areas of your life. So I want to invite you to that if this is you. Also, take a look at the free reading. That link is below. It does go to our page because I want to introduce you to other parts of the team that you don't see here when you see me here. And the link is right there on the page, because I know that once for a long time it was just a landing page where you entered your name, and I noticed that people weren't filling it out. So I'm explaining this to you now because it might seem like, why am I here on the website? I've seen this page before. It didn't look like this. There's a button. It's super huge. Win a free reading. It's a chance at a free reading. We draw that every Sunday. Even the code to book it, if you wanted to just go directly to booking it, you could do that if you sign up. So that's what the code is there for. But we wanted you to know a little bit more about us so you can understand why we're so passionate about bringing you the Akashic Records. So I want to thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. Please leave us a comment if this resonates with you. And if you want a reading, because of all the love that we've been experiencing since we've been here, putting your soul journey out there for you to discover, we decided to give that love right back with a YouTube exclusive reading. If you cannot wait to see if you win, that link is right down there too. YouTube exclusive offer reading. You just book it, pay online, schedule it with any one of us, which is why I wanted you guys to see who you would be choosing on the website. And thank you for tuning in. I mean, it's really a humble honor to sit here and provide life-changing and healing affirmative words that are moving people's souls to a better way of living and more connected and engaged and conscious, so that we can all walk in a collective loving light. And thank you for tuning in. I'm Demi, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget, hit that notification button. See you next time. Namaste.